Unless you are completely new to the world of skincare, you've probably heard of The Ordinary. They are one of the most popular skincare brands on the market right now and have been for about 5 years. They're known for their somewhat stripped back approach to skincare in certain ways and providing effective products at affordable prices. And on this channel, you often hear me say that I have a love-hate relationship with The Ordinary. Whilst I feel like they did so much for the skincare industry and the cosmetics industry as a whole, making us interested and kind of more switched on about the ingredients we're using in our skincare, what percentages even mean, and really beginning to ask questions about what's in our skincare, they also screwed over a lot of our skin. On the other hand, they can be quite a difficult brand to understand, and despite their kind of stripped back appearance, their products and their actives and ingredients can be a little bit of a minefield when it comes to actually deciding what you should and shouldn't use on your skin. For the vast majority of people, The Ordinary is a staple in their routine, but not everyone's experience with the brand has lived up to that reputation. Over the years since their launch, there have always been some people claiming that The Ordinary's products has caused everything from chemical burns, irritation, and even long-term skin issues. And these complaints seem to be getting even more frequent in recent years, especially when apps like TikTok and Instagram started their short-form content. A lot of people were sharing their issues with the brand and their products. So what's really going on here? Are The Ordinary making these dangerous products that purposely damage people's skin, or is there a little bit more to those claims? In today's video, I want to talk about some of the negative reactions that people have had, why I personally think they're having those reactions, and what you can do to avoid it happening to you. So let's have a look at what issues some people have had with The Ordinary's products in particular. So when The Ordinary launched back in 2016, the brand made an immediate impact on the world, right? It was crazy, like people just became obsessed with them, and on YouTube, the only skincare content for a long time was about The Ordinary. Consumers loved and still do love their transparency around particular ingredients, including the concentration and of actives in their products. It's 2018 and Natasha Martlew decided to try The Ordinary salicylic acid 2% solution in an attempt to boost what she described as the very basic skincare routine that she'd been using, consisting of soap, water, and a light moisturizer. That's a little bit too basic if it's actual soap. So she's never used the product before, right? And she didn't want to use too much. So she put 2 drops on a cotton pad and applied it to her face. She said that she didn't have any adverse reactions at first, other than her skin going a little bit red, right? But there was no pain. She thought it was normal and just went to bed. However, when she woke up the next morning, she realized something was very, very wrong. And in an interview with the Daily Mail, she said, "When I woke up for work the next morning and I looked in the mirror, I wondered what was all over my face. My initial reaction was that it was loads of spots. It kind of looked like I had 100 whiteheads on my face. I touched my chin, and that's when something popped, and I had realized that they were blisters. All this clear and yellow liquid came out. It was horrible." She goes on to say, "It felt like a throbbing pain on my face. It was burning and sore to touch. My forehead was where it hurt the most, as that was the deepest burn." So of course, Natasha ended up going to hospital, and she was told that she suffered from chemical burns, and she was given a course of antibiotics and signed off work for 2 weeks, basically to give the wound some time to properly heal. So she actually got in touch with The Ordinary. Not a lot of people do this, but she got in touch to complain about her experience, but apparently they responded by offering her a £4.25 refund for the product she bought and to send her another product to soothe irritation. Obviously, she didn't think that was good enough. It's not very likely that when somebody's had a bad reaction from a particular product, from a particular brand, that they then want to invest their money or time or efforts into another one of their products. She says that the packaging actually only warned about stopping use in case of persistent irritation, and that the product could increase the skin sensitivity to the sun. And she just kind of wants The Ordinary to update their packaging to include warnings about possible side effects from just one application, and so that this could have been avoided if those warnings were in place. And after what she experienced, it's a reasonable thing to ask for, I think, in my opinion, just another little warning to be added. And it's obviously very sad that this happened to her, but I'm not sure what really would have prevented this, to be honest with you. Almost everyone tends to ignore those kind of warnings and assumes it won't happen to them, just like people ignore the advice to patch test products before using them on your face. So whether that would actually have made a difference is very, very debatable. And we can just say now that this is almost a rarity. One use from a cotton pad. This is an extreme reaction to minimal product. And that's not to say that you need a certain amount of product in order to cause some significant damage, as we can see. But I do think to put a warning that just one use of this product could cause chemical burns is a little bit extreme when it's such a rare thing to do, especially as they already recommend you patch test. That patch test probably would have made such a big difference in the first place. Not to put blame on the consumer, but this is why patch testing is so important. Another case was that of Aurora Garcia, who went viral after sharing her reaction she had to the Ordinary's AHA 30% plus BHA 2% exfoliating and brightening peeling solution in 2020. You know the one. This is the one that people were dripping down their face in extreme amounts, pretending it was like blood or something. Some people on TikTok were derma rolling over this. People in their preteens, kids in their preteens were using this product unnecessarily. I personally do believe this is an unnecessary product. I don't think anybody needs this high percentage exfoliation at home. In an interview she did with BuzzFeed, she described how she'd been struggling with blackheads and whiteheads like on her nose and on her chin for a while. I know that little bit there. And describing how she found out about the product, she said, "When I saw the Ordinary peeling solution on TikTok, I ordered it because it seemed legit, considering so many people had reviewed it. As she never used the product before, Aurora did do a patch test first." Isn't that amazing? She applied the solution to her upper cheek and left it for 5 minutes. She didn't feel really any tingling or any other kind of reaction whatsoever after that time, so she assumed that it was fine to use. I mean, it's good that she did a patch test, right? So many people don't do it. So many people ignore that advice, but 5 minutes is a little bit short. It might be fine for something like a cleanser that you're going to wash very, very quickly, but generally you should be leaving that product on your face for as long as it directs you to. So if you're patch testing a new serum or chemical exfoliant like a toner, you would just leave it on, you wouldn't wash it off. But I would always recommend patch testing behind the ear or like on the neck. So really the peeling solution should have been left on for about 10 minutes, so double the time. And that's just for when you wash it off. You should then really wait another 24 hours to see if there's any redness, burning, or irritation that occurs after, right? So pretty quickly after doing her patch test, Aurora then applied the product to her problem areas, so her T-zone, the nose and the chin. At first, there were no issues whatsoever, but the day after she used the solution for the first time, she started to notice like little bumps all over her chin. Her skin in that area also felt tighter and was starting to burn. I mean, Aurora did the right thing and she stopped using any skincare products on her face at this point, but things were only going to start getting worse over the next few days. She said, "By the 3rd day, there were blisters covering my chin. At this point, the pain was probably about a 5. However, as the days went by, the pain got worse. I couldn't eat, I could barely open my mouth, and I had to keep a protective gauze on the area." After visiting an urgent care center, Aurora was actually diagnosed with impetigo and given antibiotics and an ointment to treat the area. It's worth pointing out that impetigo is a secondary issue here. Skincare products don't directly cause impetigo, but if you've had a bad reaction to a product, then it can possibly create an opening in your skin for bacteria to get in, which is what causes impetigo, the bacteria. So had she had an open wound on her chin, acne, she picked a spot, maybe she had picked at her blackheads, she had a cut there, maybe the product did cause some irritation on her skin, which then led to it, but this product doesn't give you impetigo, if that makes sense. Although it could have helped cause it, you know. Aurora herself made a TikTok clarifying that she doesn't blame the Ordinary's product for causing the issue. She was very, very aware that different skin types react differently to different products, and she was just unlucky that she had a negative reaction. She now advises people on her TikTok account to do their research into products and to understand what works for their skin type before trying new products. I mean, she seems completely switched on when it comes to skincare, especially as she did do a patch test. She didn't do it quite correctly, but the idea was there, you know? So again, this is just a prime example of not everything works for everyone, and unfortunately, there are going to be some products that do completely destroy someone's skin. That is going to be somebody else's holy grail. I mean, luckily for Aurora, she didn't have to suffer for too long at all, actually, and within a couple of weeks, her skin was mostly back to normal. normal. But unfortunately, this kind of issue still seems to be a problem to this day. And a quick look on TikTok and at product reviews on The Ordinary's website shows that plenty of people are still having problems with the brand's products. One woman in particular says that she has sensitive skin, then complains she had a reaction to The Ordinary's pink barrier serum. It's like the soothing barrier support serum, but it came to be known as the pink serum, right?
Hey guys, not to be a slenderer of The Ordinary, but I tried their like pink barrier serum. It ruined my face. It messed me up bad. This is what my skin normally looks like, so it messed me up bad, guys. I have sensitive skin too, so maybe that was an L on my part.
Several people in the comments said that they had the same issue. This is like a multi-ingredient serum that honestly I absolutely love, and it contains 8 active ingredients and technologies, they say, including niacinamide, vitamin B12, a ceramide complex, Centella asiatica, bioderivatives, gallic acid derivatives, a soothing complex, bisabol, and sugar-based hydrators. But this just goes to show you that even a product that is meant to help heal and soothe the skin, somebody out there somewhere is gonna have a reaction to it because it is skincare. Like in this TikTok where the poster was using The Ordinary's 10% plus zinc 1% niacinamide serum. No, that's wrong. The Ordinary's niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1%. She thought she was just purging. She was breaking out really, really bad, so she kept using it. But she says after a few months, it stopped helping her skin, so she stopped using it. Others in the comments said that they were having the same issue. One woman in particular says that 10% niacinamide is too strong for most people, admits she has sensitive skin, and then complains in a review that she broke out because 10% is too strong. However, I did have a chat with Michelle from Lab Muffin Beauty Science recently, and niacinamide isn't necessarily a triggering ingredient, even at higher doses. You know, it's like saying like Centella could be too irritating. It's not known to be an irritating ingredient. So that's kind of up in the air. I think people get confused because there are so many actives that are more irritating, higher percentages, but niacinamide hasn't actually been shown to be one of them, which is interesting. But I do find it weird that you don't necessarily need a 10% niacinamide anyway when it's been shown to have really good benefits at 2 to 3%. But the product reviews for this product are generally very positive, with a star rating of 4.3, but there are also some people giving negative reviews complaining that they broke out. Several of them admit to knowing that they have sensitive skin, so products tend to irritate their skin regardless of what the concentration is, and admit that they should have basically done some research before, but they left negative reviews anyway. So again, I never want to blame the user of a product, and as much as I agree that The Ordinary maybe do have some actives that are too high percentage and unnecessary products, a lot of these things are down to the fact of user error, not doing patch tests, and just using products that you don't necessarily need. And then we have this video here which we're going to watch where this creator says that the Ordinary salicylic acid 2% solution made her break out, made her skin red and blotchy.
This is a huge PSA to all the girlies. If you're thinking of using the Ordinary salicylic acid 2% solution because it was recommended to you, maybe don't.
And lots of people in the reviews for this particular product say that they've used this product for months or years with no problems, but then all of a sudden they had issues with it in 2024. So they're wondering if the formula has changed potentially. So why is this happening? You know, we kind of touched on it, but The Ordinary is a brand that does a lot right. They provide high quality, effective, and science-backed products at a very reasonable price. Their prices have gone up, but in comparison, they're still reasonable. They're known for being transparent about their ingredients and their formulations, so we do know exactly what we're getting. They don't make these vague promises or use confusing jargon. The products are simply named after the ingredients that they contain. So really they are giving us a wealth of information, but I often think it's too much. When so many other beauty brands are using marketing buzzwords and focusing more on extravagant packaging or elaborate marketing claims or trademarking weird names for a bunch of, 8 weights of hyaluronic acid, The Ordinary's approach aims at simplifying beauty and making it more accessible. But that doesn't mean they always get it right. Despite aiming to simplify the industry, their minimalist approach can sometimes result in more confusion and a lack of understanding of their products, in my opinion, which in turn can lead to misuse or overuse. We know their products with potent active ingredients includes like glycolic acid, salicylic acid, retinol, vitamin C, other very heavy exfoliants. They also offer them in higher concentrations than a lot of other brands on the market do. So if you're new to using these kind of ingredients and don't really know how they work or what they're really for, what you should and shouldn't be using them with, for example, there's a risk that it could cause more damage to your skin barrier, to your skin in general, increase sensitivity, cause more damage than good. And obviously I'm not trying to demonize any of these actives. That's never what this one dog hair, honestly. I'm not trying to demonize any of the ingredients or the actives. They can be a hugely important and integral part of your skincare routine, helping to make your skin look the best it's ever been, the best it's ever felt, brighter, firmer, plumper, more even, whatever. They can address skin concerns ranging from hyperpigmentation, uneven skin tone, breakouts, rough skin texture. The Ordinary really does have it all. But if you ever overdone it with your AHAs and BHAs, you'll know that there are some less than desirable side effects. And so we know it's so important to actually understand these ingredients and how to incorporate them into your skincare routine and how your particular skin type might react to them. And this is not my issue, but although The Ordinary do provide educational materials on their website, like an ingredient glossary, guide to layering products effectively, and how to build a skincare routine, they could arguably do a little bit more to make it clear to new customers that these products aren't necessarily for everyone. And that's kind of where I feel The Ordinary can really go wrong. And how what The Ordinary did is amazing is also quite troubling and unnecessary at the same time. The Ordinary have everything you would ever need ingredient-wise for every skincare concern. But that's also the problem, is they have everything, every ingredient you ever need for every possible skincare concern. And in my opinion and my experience, not just with myself, but talking to people about skincare, a lot of the time you're like, oh, do I need that? Should I use that? Do I need azelaic acid? Should I be using vitamin C? Should I be using glycolic acid? And then you kind of link ingredients to every skincare concern you have and end up having this extensive routine with far too many products in, far too many actives. And this is why I think I favor nowadays those kind of like serums that do it all. They kind of like have a checklist of things they do, so you can use 2 serums in your routine rather than thinking, right, I've got these 10 serums for all the concerns I have in my routine. How do I slot these into a weekly routine? What can I and can't I use together? How is my skin going to react? It actually becomes so much more complicated than ever had to be. I think it's great if you realistically, you're going to have a minimal routine. You cleanse, you hydrate, you have your one treatment stage from The Ordinary, and then you go into moisturizer, sunscreen, right? But for enthusiasts or for people who have multiple concerns, I just don't think The Ordinary is a good idea. And I think that's reflected in their products as well. They never had these barrier caring products until people started having reactions. And with that being said, the responsibility of course does also lie with the user at the end of the day. A brand can only tell you so much, and I do believe The Ordinary do a good job doing your own research into your skin type. It's just hair, there's dog hair everywhere. Doing your own research into your own skin type, what's going to work for it, how to incorporate new products safely is so necessary to make sure you're looking after your skin properly. So it really is super simple on how you can avoid these issues. Patch testing is so important. Integrating new products, especially those with higher concentrations of actives, do a patch test. I'm guilty for not doing a patch test, right? What I think is even more important, which I've had to emphasize over on TikTok actually, is gradual introduction of products. Introduce potent products slowly, and this means dropping everything else. I have a core routine of a cleanser, a toner, and a moisturizer and a sunscreen that I've used for years and years and years, and I know my skin has no reaction to these products. So then I can safely introduce a new product into a routine. If anything happens to my skin, I know it's that product. You can then slowly start building your routine from there, chopping and changing as you go. The amount of people I see over on TikTok who have bought a whole new skincare routine and use it all in one go and then blame the products when their skin reacts to it, it's craziness. It's craziness. Sun protection. I know we all use sunscreen, the majority of us, but when using active ingredients, it can increase photosensitivity of your skin, of course. So it's crucial to apply skincare. There is no point doing all this stuff if you're not wearing sunscreen, especially when it comes to evening out skin tone. And of course, pay attention to irritation, signs of irritation, redness, burning, stinging, excessive dryness, and adjust your skincare routine necessarily. So if this happens to you, you will know, stop using any active ingredients, potent serums, and focus on gentle, very gentle cleansers, hydrating moisturizers, and barrier repairing products. Funny enough, The Ordinary's skin healing barrier, like whatever, that pink serum is a good one. So yes, I guess my closing message is, whilst I have a love-hate relationship with The Ordinary, they have some very effective products that very high percentages, and it really is down to us as consumers to patch test, follow the directions on the packaging, just listen to our skin. So please don't let this video put you off using The Ordinary products. They can be incredibly effective for a lot of people, and they obviously are. And they are arguably some of the most effective and better quality products on the market right now.